My mom let her new husband and his kids rip apart my dad's house, then acted like I was the monster for stopping them. What they forgot is simple. After my dad died, he left that house to me. They tried to shame me into handing it over anyway, and that only made the ending worse for them. I'm 35, I work in tech, and my dad was the kind of man who planned everything. He built a construction business from nothing and treated trust like currency. He also built our family home with his own hands and documented everything because to him, it mattered. That house wasn't just property, it was his life's work. My dad taught me in the workshop, in the garage, under sinks, on ladders, and over the hood of his old Mustang. He taught me how to fix things, how to lead people, and how not to cut corners. So when he died suddenly at 58 from a heart attack, it felt like the floor dropped out from under me. Then his attorney opened the estate plan, and I realized Dad had seen farther than any of us. He left detailed instructions for everything, including the house. Legally, it was mine. My mom could live there, but ownership was not a gray area. At first, I didn't push anything because she was grieving, and then she started seeing a guy from church grief group. 6 months later, he moved in with his 2 adult kids, and suddenly my dad's home became their fresh start. The first time I knew how bad it was, I walked in and saw contractors tearing out the built-in bookshelves my dad and I had finished together. My stepdad stood there directing them like a foreman and said, "Just toss all this old wood." I told him he needed my permission for changes. He smirked and said, "We live here. We don't need permission." After that, it got worse fast. His son turned Dad's workshop into a gym and sold most of Dad's tools at a garage sale while I was out of town. His daughter started repainting rooms and covering restored hardwood with cheap vinyl planks. My mom backed all of it, including removing the kitchen door frame where my dad marked my height every birthday. She looked me in the face and called it just old wood. I was paying the taxes, insurance, and maintenance the whole time. They paid nothing. Then my stepdad had the nerve to ask for his name on the deed because they had sweat equity. He even started sending me bills for upgrades I never approved. That's when I stopped asking how to keep the peace and started asking how much of my dad I was willing to let them destroy. When I went over one day and saw them ripping out the original crown molding in the dining room, I was done. I told them they had 2 weeks to leave. My mom cried. My stepdad puffed up and tried to intimidate me. Then the calls started: relatives, church people, family friends, even people who barely spoke to me before telling me I was cruel, ungrateful, and dishonoring my mother. 3 days before the deadline, they staged an intervention on the front lawn. Church friends, cousins, my mom's pastor, even a few people who used to work with my dad. They took turns lecturing me while my mom cried and my stepdad played victim. Then his daughter stood up, held her pregnant belly, and tried to make me the reason her baby was under stress. I stood up slowly. I pulled out my phone. Then I showed photos of the damage. First, the ripped out shelves. Then, the cheap vinyl over restored floors. Next, the destroyed trim and missing woodwork. Then, the empty workshop walls where Dad's tools used to hang. After that, I read part of my dad's letter about trust, accountability, and why he left the house to me. No speeches, no yelling, just facts. The whole mood changed. A couple of my dad's old business friends went quiet and nodded. Some people looked embarrassed. A few apologized on their way out. The crowd that came to correct me dissolved in under 10 minutes once they saw what had really happened. On the deadline morning, I came back with my attorney, a locksmith, and security. They were packed. My mom wouldn't look at me. My stepdad took one last shot and said, "Your father would be ashamed." I didn't answer because the truth was standing all around us. Dad planned for this, and he trusted me to hold the line. After they left, I walked through the house and saw how much had been ruined. Handmade work replaced with builder-grade junk, original details ripped out, history flattened. I'm restoring what I can now with some of Dad's old craftsmen. I probably lost half my extended family over this, and online they still call me the villain. Fine. I kept the house. I kept his legacy. First thing I'm rebuilding is the workshop, so my daughter can learn there too.